are we saying hello of any kind, or did you just want to go right into it? Do you
Hello.
think?
Hey, let's go right into it.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go right in.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't need any. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I've been seeing you all morning. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to bring up, because it's almost Valentine's Day.
Yes.
It's like a week away, a little over a week away. I don't think it's too soon to start talking about it.
Okay.
Do you remember the Valentine's Day Massacre? Now, I don't mean the...
Do I remember it? No.
Oh, yes, you do remember.
I wasn't there.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are. Now, I'm not talking about the Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago with Al Capone, or was it Tony Curtis and Jack? No, never mind. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our personal Valentine's Day Massacre. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a box of chocolates.
Yeah, box of Valentine's Day chocolates.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because it is a tradition to give chocolates on Valentine's Day, for men to give women chocolates on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
That means a lot of things to a lot of different people. A lot of it I really don't agree with, but a lot of it has to do with female worship and elevating women above men,
Sure,
and stuff like that, which I really don't agree with.
Yeah.
However, typically I'll go and I go up to this place up near Boston. It's called Hilliard's, and they have fantastic chocolate. And I'll buy a box of a chocolate heart for my wife and for my daughter. Okay. And I know that sounds crazy because we eat healthy, but we don't eat that way all year round. Okay. We, holidays, we do splurge a little bit. And Valentine's Day is one of them. We eat chocolate candy. So do you remember, was it last year or the year before when I bought some sugar-free chocolates?
That was last year.
That was last year. Was that Valentine's Day or was that an experiment?
That was Valentine. No, I don't remember.
I think it was an experiment to see if I could have it for Valentine's Day because I wanted to get sugar-free candy.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the result of that was?
Yes, I do.
What?
Everybody had to run to the bathroom.
Right.
Everybody got absolutely destroyed.
Right.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
It was the whole family. We all ate it.
Actually, we had to in the family group chat,
right,
text mom and say, "Don't eat the chocolate at work."
She took some to work.
She was at work. We said, "Do not eat that chocolate."
Yeah. Oh my
while
God.
at work. No, it was terrible. It was awful. Yeah, that was an interesting result.
But the funny thing is, there was a notice on the box came with a warning.
Yeah, it did.
What did it say?
It essentially said I don't know.
Warning.
It basically said warning may cause diarrhea is basically what it said.
Why did we need it?
In some nicer language.
Why did we eat it?
I didn't know because I didn't know it was going to do that.
Okay, so do you know why that works? Do you know why that happens?
I'm guessing it's the sweetener they use, whatever sweetener substitute.
Yeah, it is. It's sugar alcohols.
Okay.
Sugar alcohols.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things, we use natural sweeteners in our food. We use stevia. We use xylitol too. I think xylitol is a sugar alcohol, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it is.
Probably.
The thing about the sugar alcohol.
That's what all the protein bars have in them too.
Oh,
sugar alcohols.
Yeah. Don't they give you problems too, right? Gas?
I think they give everybody gas. Yeah. And people think it's the whey. Like whey
protein.
No,
it's not the
whey.
I
think it's the sugar alcohol.
It's absolutely the sugar alcohols. Yeah. The sugar alcohols basically they're not absorbable. They're sweet. They taste sweet.
Yeah.
But your body doesn't absorb it.
Right.
So what happens
Which is the point.
Which is the point.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you can't absorb it, you're not getting calories, right? Yeah. So what happens is it goes through your intestine, it goes through your gut. That's why I call it the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Okay.
Because our guts got massacred.
Yeah.
We got murdered.
Yeah.
It winds up in your large intestine where it sits there and ferments. And the fermentation gives off gas, I guess, carbon dioxide, I guess, right, for fermentation?
Okay, maybe, I don't know.
Gives off the gas, and that's why you get bloating and you get flatulence. But then there's something else that happens, too, is that it has an osmotic effect. And osmosis is when you start drawing water and fluid into your colon. So you wind up with diarrhea and you wind up with gas, and you should never eat. I don't know how much.
They must load those things up then, because
there's a lot of them. Because I think I tasted 2 or 3. I don't remember.
I probably about 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a 6-hour experience. It was awful.
Yeah.
The ramifications of
Right.
of having a
So
sweet
I don't
tooth.
know. So go to 16.
Okay.
And I want you to go with me because I'm going to want you to.
All right.
Here's the place here.
Hilliard's, yeah.
Go to the chocolate menu, and then go to the sugar-free
Oh, I got
section.
pop-ups.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So there are the sugar-free chocolates. Now,
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I haven't opened this yet. Okay, but I know on their site that they give the ingredients. So just pick one and let's see the ingredients.
We'll just do.
All right. Before you open it.
Yeah.
Before you open it, the sorbitol, maltitol, xylitol, all the tols are basically the sugar alcohols.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So let's see what they got.
All right, well, we'll just do assortment. Let's see what's in the assortment.
Okay.
Sweetened with, they say, maltitol and sorbitol.
There you go. Maltitol. Those are some of the worst ones.
Okay.
Yeah, different ones have different.
Look. Excess consumption may have a laxative effect. That's what it says. Which is what happened, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And that warning is way too delicate for how bad it is, okay?
It was pretty bad.
No, that should be bold and in red.
Yeah.
No.
So did I ever tell you this subject is kind of weird, but you know Sal, my friend Sal from when I was a kid, Sal from the Bronx?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sal is the guy who I had my first got drunk with.
Right.
He had his father's wine,
homemade wine.
Homemade wine.
Yeah.
And we got
sure
blitzed. And anyway, Sal, one day, me and my friend
Italian, right?
Sal.
So you got an Italian in the Bronx making homemade wine in his basement.
Yeah, it wasn't unusual.
No, I know.
No. So Sal, well, here's what's a little unusual. We wanted to play a trick on Sal, me and my friend Greg, and we wanted to play a trick on him. So we went to the drugstore and we picked up X-Lax. Do you know what X-Lax is?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. They still make it? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, X-Lax was chocolate. I don't know if that's even the case.
Yeah.
But it looks like chocolate.
Right.
So, and it's loaded up with, I guarantee you it's loaded up with one of these sugar alcohols. Okay. So we took it out of the wrapper, and I took a knife and I scraped off the words because it's got X-Lax embossed on it.
Yeah.
So it looks just like chocolate. It's got the little bars like broken. You could break them up. So I took a little X-Lax, I took a little knife and I shaved off the little X-Lax emblems on each one, and we broke it up and we put it in a candy dish. And we put it out. Yeah, and we put it out in Greg's living room, and then we had Sal over.
Yeah.
And we know Sal loves chocolate. So we sat there waiting for Sal to eat the chocolate. We wanted to give him a bad case of diarrhea.
Right.
And honestly, he was very suspicious. It's so long ago. It's like 50 years ago. It's so...
yeah, I'd be suspicious too.
He's very suspicious. I saw him... I do remember him looking at it, but I think he ate it. I'm not sure. I'm in contact with him all these years later. I'm going to ask him if he remembers.
Yeah, I'd be suspicious if I went to somebody's house and they had a bowl of chocolate and they're, giggling under their breath, offering me some, and they won't eat any. No, I'm not going to eat that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, we're probably like 13 years old.
Yeah,
or something, I know. So yeah. So all right. So you're a political guy.
I guess.
Well, let's take this to the.
I don't consider myself a political guy, but
you are. You love politics. You're not a political.
I realize I know and pay attention more than the average person. Yeah.
All right. Go to 19. Go with me on this. I don't want you to scroll too fast.
All right.
Scroll with me as I'm talking.
The National Presidential Wax Museum.
I want to read it too. Yeah.
Great.
So that's the national president. Basically, this has got presidential displays of affection on Valentine's Day.
What does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
Well, let's go down and see.
I don't know.
Your entire George Washington. I don't know what that means, but basically throughout history, presidents have demonstrated the love for their spouses inside and outside of the Oval Office. For instance, President John F. Kennedy was known to surprise First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy with extravagant gifts such as jewelry and handwritten love letters on Valentine's Day. Similarly, Ronald Reagan famously wrote romantic letters to Nancy, expressing deep affection. Well, I love you, Nancy. Some presidents, anyway, Lincoln, what did Lincoln do? Lincoln shared an intimate moment. What? I don't want to hear about Lincoln's intimate moments with his wife. Scroll down. You got Washington. There he is. During the Revolutionary War, George Washington wrote a letter from Philadelphia to his wife Martha stating how excited he was to see her. Oh, I don't want to hear about that either. Okay, scroll down. We got, there's Barack Obama.
Okay.
And here we go. And there's Joe Biden. There's Joe Biden sniffing his wife's hair.
Okay.
Jilly, you're the love of my life. He's actually sniffing her hair. Oh
no, he's probably giving her a kiss.
On the head?
I don't know.
He's kissing her in the hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. So presidents also celebrate Valentine's Day. Now, do you know how Valentine's Day got started? Why we have a Valentine's Day?
Saint Valentine.
Correct.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Saint Valentine. He's a saint. He was a martyr. Goes back to the Roman Empire. And it goes basically February 14th is when we celebrate the execution of Valentinus of Rome.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what it is.
Great.
In the Roman Empire, there was back in 269 AD, there was an emperor, Claudius II, who he had a very short reign, by the way. He died not long after executing poor old Valentine there. Like, I think he died of smallpox or something, some disease. Only like he's basically was an emperor for like two and a half years or something. And Claudius was, as you know, the Roman Empire was they wanted to dominate militarily. They were trying to take over the world, basically. They were trying to conquer.
I mean, they kind of did.
They did, actually. That's what the Holy Roman Empire. Yeah, it wasn't just Rome. It was the Roman Empire. They wanted to take over Turkey and Greece and Africa and everything else. So one of the rules was you were not allowed to get married. Basically, if you were of military age, you had to come into the military, and you weren't allowed to get married because Claudius felt that that would be a distraction. Your devotions would be to your wife and family, not to the state.
Okay.
So he forbade it. And Saint Valentine, well, we'll call him Saint Valentine, Valentinus of Rome.
Okay.
He was a priest. He was a bishop.
Yeah.
A Christian bishop. He was not Catholic, because I don't think Catholics weren't even around yet then, I don't think.
I don't know if it was called Catholicism, but they would certainly consider that original church to be
Right.
their church now. Yeah.
So they were still in development, but he was for marriage. He was for Christian marriage, Christian devotion between two people who loved each other. He was not for premarital sex. He believed in monogamy. This was everything that the Roman Empire was against. Okay, they believed they didn't want people to get married, but they wanted them to have a lot of sex, and they were basically a debauched society.
Mm-hmm.
So the emperor didn't very much care for Valentine, and he arrested him and threw him in jail.
Okay.
And he sentenced him to death.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how he wound up headless on February 4th. Oh, by the way, there's more to it.
Yeah.
But on there was a February 15th in Rome at that time, there was a holiday called Lupercalia.
Okay.
Okay, which I didn't know about until I researched this.
Sounds like a disease.
It does. Well, it was probably a lot of disease involved too, because basically, from what I can gather, there's a lot to it, but from what I can gather, it was sort of like a Bacchanalian style festival where people just got drunk and paired off and went and had sex with each other. Okay. And that's February 15th, the day after what was soon to become Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I wanted to dive into tariffs a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Classic economic theory says that tariffs basically, and when I say classic, I mean like free market economist style stuff. Adam Smith, Milton Friedman, who I like a lot.
Okay.
That was one of Reagan's guys too. They basically don't like tariffs.
Okay.
They say it raises prices, it disrupts the markets, and it causes retaliation, like price wars.
Okay.
Not price wars.
Trade wars?
Trade wars.
Trade wars, yeah.
Okay. Which, that's all we've been hearing about in the past couple of days is trade wars. Trade wars.
Sure.
But Trump is not a classic political economy devotee. Okay. He's a businessman. He's a salesman. He's a negotiator. And he's using these tariffs to negotiate something with these countries, with China, Mexico, Canada, and basically we want to stem the flow of fentanyl. We want to stem the flow of illegal immigrants. And in the past, and everyone is freaking out. The media is freaking out. Oh, prices are going to go up. And there's a lot of, I don't know, the past 24 hours, it seems to be working. They seem to be doing what he wants. So can you break down why the media and why liberals in particular, we have a very liberal media, seem to struggle with understanding Trump's philosophy on this? And I mean, they seem to be missing why he's doing this. Can you go into tariffs a little bit of how they're supposed to work, why they're working this way now? I would
hope I could because I studied economics.
Yeah.
Right. And even when I was at college, they struggled with this too. It's the same thing. They're doing the same thing that they did, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When it comes to this stuff, they do the exact same thing. They look at the models, and there's a very simple model that you learn that every economic undergrad student learns that basically shows that there is welfare loss. Welfare does not, in economics, doesn't mean free handouts. Welfare just means overall,
economic welfare.
Welfare in economics means it just means benefit, like who's benefiting from what.
Okay.
And there's loss of benefit when you implement tariffs. Usually the consumer gets hurt, and there's benefit that could be there, could be enjoyed by somebody, that gets taken away when you have tariffs. It's called a deadweight loss, is what it's called in economics. But anyway, the thing is, those models assume free trade. They assume that everything's above board, and they don't assume any other variables are involved. So that they don't take into account negotiations. Like, we'll implement this tariff if you don't do this. So to get a person to do that, they don't take into account stuff like that. They also don't take into account some reasons why sometimes you want tariffs. Like there's this infant industry argument where if you have a domestic industry that you want to compete on the world level, well, it can't, because if another country is already has the whole market, if you allow free trade completely, you can never have a domestic industry grow into itself. So there's that argument too. It's like, okay, well, we're going to sort of incubate here for a while. We don't want you flooding our market with your product while our domestic industry is getting off the ground. So there's that idea too. But yeah, they had the same thing. I went through a whole month where they were talking about how Trump's tariffs won't work, and here's why China will never agree, and this is why it hurts everybody. And then news comes out, oh no, China agreed to this, and that. It's Trump's terms, and now we're going to lower the tariffs and or postpone them. And I remember my professor, who was, an economics professor, being completely, she had a German accent too. She was German. She was completely bewildered. She had no explanation for it. She said, "We do not fully understand why the Chinese have decided not to, and I mean, as we know right now, what happened is Canada agreed to put more money up for securing their border with us, and Mexico is putting 10,000 troops there, and now I want to point out we didn't discontinue the tariffs. It's a 30-day pause, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's basically like, okay, that's a good start, We'll see what happens in 30 days.
The thing that it seems to me that they never consider when looking at tariffs as something that, it just can't work. It just can't work. It seems to me that they never consider they don't address the degree of foreign dependency that we have for things like batteries and semiconductors and medicines and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that when a lot of the no tariff policy, a lot of free trade policy, when it went into effect, when these people learned that we didn't have the degree of foreign dependency then that we have now.
Well, I can explain why it works so well for us. It wouldn't work for another country to do it. They don't have that kind of economic leverage, but we import a lot.
Yeah.
We import a lot.
That's what I'm talking about.
And these countries, Canada and Mexico, and even like the smaller ones in South America, even more, they depend on being able to export to the United States. It's a much larger portion of their economy than ours is exports to them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and if all of a sudden we can't export to them because their tariff on us is too high,
Right.
it hurts us a little bit.
Right.
But if they can't export to us, it hurts them a whole lot more.
Right.
So that's why I did see this, and I did queue it up because I knew we would be talking about tariffs today in some degree. I wanted to show you this. Here's Trudeau and how he handled this negotiation. He had a big press conference where he came out and he gave a speech about we're implementing these tariffs, and this is before completely conceding, by the way. But you can kind of tell the direction it's going. So here's Trudeau. Let's see if we get him.
Now is also the time to choose Canada. There are many ways for you to do your part. It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products. It might mean opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing Florida orange juice altogether. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer.
Okay, so this is this is not somebody who's ready for a trade war.
No.
Okay, right?
Not at all.
What is he saying? He's saying that he kept saying it throughout the whole speech. Canadians, we're all going to come together, and we're going to get through this as one people.
But wait a minute,
he did the we're all in this together.
But isn't he saying don't patronize the United States?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's saying we're going into a trade war, and we're going to do our part by buying Canadian.
Yeah, right.
And American goods, you're going to have to forego those. And really, I mean, that's not a positive message to your people. That doesn't sound like somebody who's ready to win.
Well, you know what? He's not ready to win because he's on his way out. He's gone.
Yeah, he is on his way out. But I mean, they conceded already. So basically, they're going to declare the cartel a national. A terrorist organization.
What, Canada, we already have.
Yeah, Canada is.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to. I mean, just last year they found a fentanyl factory in Canada, right?
Wait,
That's
really?
like yeah, something crazy like that. But they're going to do that. They're also going to appoint like some sort of drug czar for the border, and I think the problem is they weren't very participatory. They weren't very helpful in stopping the immigration and the drugs coming across their border. So, and that's just they're doing that in exchange for a 30-day pause. Wow. So I guess this will be revisited in 30 days. We'll see.
Well, you got to stop that fentanyl. I had fentanyl.
You tried it?
Yeah, I tried it.
You mean as what do you mean?
No, I had fentanyl.
You mean as prescribed to you?
Well, no, not actually.
Well, what are you talking about?
When I had surgery on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was looking at the list of medications that was being charged for.
Yeah.
And one of them was fentanyl. It was like, oh, wow, they're giving me fentanyl. Like, it's such a dirty word. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, my God, I don't want fentanyl.
Right.
You know,
it's really dangerous. It's crazy.
Well, they know what they're doing, you know.
It's super potent.
My surgery didn't hurt. So
yeah, but the fact is tariffs can be used for leverage. When you have that sort of economic leverage, yeah, obviously you don't want to escalate a trade war. I mean, if you don't get what you want at the end, then you failed. But the fact is, we have so much more leverage over them that we can get things like commitments to spend more money to secure the border and troops on the border and things like that, like Mexico's doing. Right. So that's how it works. Now, I don't know what's going on with China, but the fact is, we have the lowest tariffs out of most nations, at least. Anyway, like. People talk about free trade like we're the only one tariffing people. All these countries got tariffs.
Of course
they're all doing it.
Of course
they're all doing it.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the Beatles.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this. The Grammys happened like a couple days ago. Do you even know about that? Does anybody even watch that? No. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it at all. But anyway, the Beatles won. The Beatles won a Grammy.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did.
So they won their final Grammy.
I did read that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
They won it for
I saw a thing
song.
with Ringo. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He was on some show.
But the thing was, I guess nobody was there to accept it.
Right.
I guess it was unexpected. I don't know. So Sean Lennon...
Not even Ringo?
Right. So Sean Lennon, who was there for another reason, for something else he did, I think with his dad's music, he jumped on stage to accept the
It's pretty
Grammy.
cool. It's pretty cool, actually.
So, and it was for that song, their last song, right?
Oh, the one
Now
with
and Then.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Now and Then. Yeah.
So what's the deal with that? Do you
Well, that's
know?
one where
so
they took
they took
John-
like AI.
Well, it was John's voice.
They
and
took John Lennon's voice.
They salvaged it. They computerized it. They took it out. It's actually him singing,
Okay.
but because I heard the original recording. The original
Yeah.
recording is him just sort of playing around on the piano with some lyrics and stuff.
Right.
And I guess they enhanced it and pulled it out, and they used
With AI.
With AI, so you actually do hear John singing.
Yeah. The AI restored Beatles song won Grammy for best rock performance.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of cool. And they won their 8th. So it's their 8th and final Grammy. Thanks to
I didn't
artificial intelligence.
I didn't know
That's
it
crazy.
was that popular, or maybe it wasn't. But the Grammys don't really care about that, do they?
How did they do it? It says pieced together using a demo that he recorded in the 70s, John Lennon in the 70s.
Right.
And then Paul, Ringo, and George later providing their own contribution in the mid 90s
Right.
with the aim of including the finals. So they did this in the 90s with
They did.
George.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he was.
But
still
it wasn't
alive.
released because of technical limitations preventing John's vocals and piano
Right.
from being separated from the original lo-fi demo. Wow.
And then AI came along
Right.
and allowed basically Paul
yeah.
to organize putting it all
Because
together.
I saw footage of like George playing.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's
I was like, what is it? Like, is this a fake George
Yeah,
Harrison
yeah.
now? So I guess it's real
Yeah.
from the 90s. So they
Yeah.
got together in the 90s and did it.
Right.
That's crazy before George died.
I
That's
know.
nuts. And then they used AI to separate. I was a little.
Took a long time to make this song.
Yeah,
to
I was
record
skeptical
this.
about the AI to separate the vocals thing because I think what they did, I think they have to take it out and then you have like a waveform because I do the audio so I can see these things. I'm kind of familiar with it.
Right.
You have the waveform where you can almost see and you see all the frequencies and
Right.
your voice is just made up of different frequencies at different decibels that when played together sound like a voice. And so I think they had to probably fill in where his voice was missing, probably using the AI. So it's like, is it John? Is it John?
So
Is
like
it John Lennon?
almost like copy and paste almost.
No, because you're filling in something that's not there.
Well, you need something to fill it in with, so you copy from somewhere else and put it there.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, I guess it's real. I guess it's really no different than using equalizers and stuff on yourself anyway. So that's pretty cool, though. So he won a Grammy.
So does that mean that John was auto-tuned?
Actually, I did see a video where Sean Lennon, unrelated to this, was with somebody else auto-tuning John's voice just for fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Which the guy doing it was like, God forgive me for
Oh, no.
auto-tuning John Lennon right now.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
They were just playing it. They weren't trying to like enhance him. They were just having fun with it.
There's stuff. I mean, I listened to the stuff from back then, and because I was very much into music back then. I really don't listen to it much anymore.
Well, the Beatles are my favorite band.
Yeah.
And for good reason, not the stereotype. Everybody, what I always say about the Beatles is everybody likes them.
Yeah.
They're appreciated the right amount,
Right.
but for the wrong reason. Because
Right.
it's like, it became, when I was a teenager, it became like a fad to like the Beatles. Like,
Right.
I like the Beatles. I'm like, you don't really even know any Beatles songs. You're just saying you like the Beatles.
Yeah.
But I actually like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Like, I actually
if you know
listen to all
anything
their
about
albums.
music and
Yeah.
writing and stuff, it's like, oh my God, that's insane.
Right.
The thing is, I saw something the other day about Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and then
Right.
there's the song, okay?
Yeah.
And someone was talking about what drop D tuning is on a guitar?
Yes, of course.
And drop D tuning became very popular with grunge and heavy metal. A lot of drop D on heavy metal because it's got that E chord that is really heavy.
But yeah, so for people who don't play music, they should know you take one of the strings
Right.
and you tune it down and make it way lower than usual.
Right.
And it has a boom boom. It has a deeper sound,
Yeah,
right?
it has a deeper sound. So they were saying that no, the Beatles actually originated that.
Oh yeah.
Like back in the '60s.
Okay.
With Sgt. They talk about Sgt. Pepper being revolutionary, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you go and they find Paul playing a 6-string guitar, not bass, a 6-string guitar
Yeah.
on Sgt. Pepper in drop D. And so I went, really? So I went over and I picked up my guitar, I dropped it, and I played, that part in, those, I don't know, I'm not sure which chords they are, but it's, dun-na, dun-na-na-na-na-na, dun-na-na-na-na-na-na,
Okay.
Sergeant, right? That's all in drop D.
Really?
It's all drop D. I did it. I can
All
hear
right.
it. It's exactly
Maybe.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like things like that about music. You know, I don't get
Yeah,
into,
yeah, yeah.
I don't get carried away with music, but I like little things like that and how it's put together. It's very interesting. to
Right.
me. What else? That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right, that's
Very
it for
good.
today.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.